I used to think I would be stuck forever in a constant cycle of anxiety, depression, negative thinking because no matter what I did, I could not get myself out of this state of negativity. And it got to a point where every single morning I would wake up feeling exhausted because my mind was taking over my body. And I tried everything to get myself out of this state, from working out, doing breath work, yoga, going on walks, distracting myself. But no matter what I did, like my mind always sucked me back into that same rumination, negative thoughts, fears, and beliefs. And I realized in order for me to get out of it, it wasn't enough to just replace my negative thoughts with positive ones because I was actually stuck in a cycle. And in order to break free from that cycle, I had to bring awareness I actually had one and then replace it with a new and different one. So in today's video, that is what we're going to cover. I'm going to show you how to break free from that vicious cycle that's making you feel like shit every single day and replace it with a better one so you actually feel happy, full of joy, and you can be in the present and actually experience life. And as always, here are the video chapters. The first thing I want to start off with is actually going through two variations of what people are stuck in when it comes to cycles. So this is the first cycle that I was stuck in and the first cycle that most people are actually stuck in. And let me tell you, when I was actually going through trying to identify how to actually change my negative beliefs, I did draw this out because visually when you can see what you're stuck in, it's much easier to actually get yourself out of it. So I have mine here up on my phone, but the first thing that happens is people wake up, okay? They wake up every single morning and then in their bed, in their bathroom, they start to immediately scan their reality for lack, for pain. They just immediately go into what's wrong in my life. And that's when nothing even happened during your day yet. You literally just woke up. So if you notice that the first thing that you feel in the morning is lack, that's already awareness that you're stuck in a cycle. Now, the second thing people go to is they don't see any change and then they start to feel negative, right? So you might start to scan your reality. You're like, okay, I still have pain in my back. I'm still broke. I still feel heartbroken. And then you're like, okay, this is just like never gonna change. And then you start to self-loathe. Okay, you start to think to yourself, like, why me? Like, what did I do? Like, why is my life so bad? And you hold on to that feeling throughout the entire day. You end up doing the same exact routine, okay? And we all know when you do the same routine, you get the same results and you feel the same emotions, right? So if you go to work every single day, you're already feeling negative. You go to Starbucks at your drive-thru and you're getting like your frappuccino, a donut, and then all of a sudden you run into traffic and that puts you even in a worse mood, right? You come back home, you do something to basically distract yourself from the emotions that you're feeling, which is typically a bad habit, watching TV, scrolling on social media, eating junk food. Maybe it is just like constantly napping, going to sleep. And then you go to sleep feeling really bad about yourself and you wake up in the morning and do the exact same thing over and over and over again. Now, it might not be super extreme like this, but there was a point in my life where I actually went through this exact cycle, even though I was trying to put on a front of being happy, being joyful, but in my mind and in my body, I felt these feelings. Now, the second cycle that I want to go through is people actually waking up feeling really good and feeling really excited. And this cycle is basically when something happens during your day that you cannot control your emotions and you carry that basically throughout the entire day. So you wake up happy and excited, you're feeling good, you're looking forward to your day, and then all of a sudden you experience something negative, which is basically a trigger. This can be anything, a post on social media that you didn't want to see. Maybe it's a fight that you have with your significant other. It can be traffic. It can just even be the heavy feeling of going to work. You experience a trigger and that basically puts you into a negative state. Now, no matter what happened and what triggered you, you start to dwell on why that happened and dwell on that emotion. And you basically go back into the cycle of self-loathing, and then you carry that emotion throughout the entire day. To lunch, you carry that. To the gym, you carry that. Maybe to the date that you're supposed to go on, you carry that same emotion, and then you start to ruminate on the negative thoughts and self-loathe on once again what happened. And this is a constant cycle. Like, once again, if something happened in the morning that you didn't like, you might be at work now, and then hours later you're still thinking about that same thing and you're ruminating on those thoughts. And then once again, you come home, you distract yourself with a bad habit, watching TV, junk food, scrolling on your phone, you go to sleep feeling bad about yourself, and then you wake up in the morning and do the exact same thing over and over again. Now, the first thing I want you to do is to bring awareness to your own cycle. And your cycle might look like the first, where you just automatically wake up in the morning just feeling really bad about yourself. Or maybe it's like the second cycle, where you do feel really good, but then when something happens, you just cannot control your emotions. You just immediately start to react to it. And no matter what your cycle is, you just want to be consciously aware of it, because if you're not even consciously aware of what is happening in your mind and body, it's really hard for you to get yourself out of it. And what I like to do is actually look at the situation from a third person perspective. So I actually take myself out of that situation, put myself in the room in the corner, and then I'm looking at the situation from different eyes. And when you do that, it once again allows you to see different cycles that you might be doing that you're not even like aware of. One thing that a lot of people might do is, maybe if you do work a job or you have a business and you had a really stressful day, if you come home with like an attitude and maybe you lash out to your partner, you might not even realize that was from the negative emotion that triggered you at like 10 a.m. in the morning, because you're not taking yourself outside of that situation. So pull yourself out of it, look at it from a third person perspective, and bring awareness to what is your own specific cycle. Now, after you bring awareness to your cycle, the second thing that you do is realize you have a choice. So when I'm in the midst, like in the deep hole of feeling bad about myself and negativity in that cycle, I ask myself, I have a choice right now. I can choose to entertain the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same negativity, or I get to choose to look at it from a different lens, from a different perspective. I can choose to feel good in this moment. Now, I will say, when you're in the trenches of a cycle of your emotions, the last thing you might want to do is be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to feel good in this moment. But what I want you to bring awareness to in that specific moment is, you are not your emotions. This is just a habit that you have adopted for years and years and years, because sometimes people think, oh, since I have always been this way, this is just who I am. But that could not be further from the truth. You are not your emotions. You are the habit that you chose to adopt. And since this habit has been ingrained into you for so long, it can feel difficult in that moment to be, okay, I choose to feel better in that moment. But the minute that you actually tell yourself that, you can choose a different path, a different thought, a different cycle to actually feel better. Because the next thing that we're going to be talking about is number 3, like, what's the truth behind why you're actually feeling so bad. But before I get into that, I just want to say, when you're in the midst of negativity, you just want to think of a thought that's going to make you feel better. It doesn't even matter what it is. You just want to feel better. Now, this third step in breaking the cycle and asking yourself, what is the truth behind it? And it meaning what is upsetting you or why you constantly have the same negative emotion. This is a very logical way to think yourself out of this negative limiting belief. Because odds are, a lot of the time when we're experiencing deep, bad emotions, we need to logically think about why we're feeling this way. And 99.9% of the time, the logical truth behind it has nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do with the negative meaning that you're attaching to that situation. So for an example, if traffic is really slow and you're rushing to work, or you're rushing to the gym, or you're just trying to get home, better yet, you can be stuck in traffic and tell yourself, oh my gosh, this is so annoying. I hate my job. I hate work. I hate driving home every single day. and you can make it about you. Or you can logically think, oh, there's traffic right now. It's rush hour. Maybe there's an accident. I hope that person's okay. Or maybe there's an elderly person that's driving really, really slow. It's okay. I'm not really in a rush. Whatever is happening that's causing this traffic is probably much more important than me getting to work on time or getting home and just sitting on the couch. Or maybe you got in a fight with your significant other. You can immediately think to yourself, oh my gosh, I hate being in a relationship. This guy is so annoying. Or you can logically think to yourself, oh, maybe he woke up in like a bad mood. Maybe he didn't sleep the best. That's okay. How he's reacting right now has nothing to do with me. So I'm just going to give him love in this moment because I know later on he's going to feel much better about himself. And I have found every single time I logically think myself out of this situation, I immediately feel better, because the last thing that we want to do is attach a negative meaning about us to the situation that, once again, 99.9% of the time, it is out of our hands and out of our control. And this basically leads me into the fourth step to break this cycle, which is the ultimate reframe. Now, when you are reframing, you might already have done this when you go through step number 3 and really asking yourself, what is the truth behind it? But the ultimate reframe is basically shifting your perspective to make you feel good in that moment. And this shift in perspective, there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. It is an answer that is going to make you feel better about yourself. And that is the key to actually making this work. Let's say, for an example, you wake up in the morning and you have this like dreaded feeling of not feeling good enough to be in like a long-term loving relationship, right? So you ask yourself the question of like, what is the truth behind this? Why am I feeling this way? And you discover the only reason why you feel this way is because of one bad prior experience in a bad relationship. And maybe in that relationship, he betrayed your trust. He cheated on you. And because of that relationship, you are now putting meaning on yourself that I'm unworthy, I'm unlovable, when in reality, his actions had nothing to do with you. So after you asked yourself, what's the truth behind it? And you find out that's the truth, the reframe that you're going to do is, I am lovable. I am magnetic. I am honestly so happy I went through that situation, because now I'm opening up the doors to attract my husband, because I know he's going to treat me so much better than that loser. And in the moment, I'm the ultimate catch. I'm going to romanticize myself. I'm going to have so much time by myself because I'm 100% whole with or without somebody. And the moment that you actually tell yourself that, and not just tell yourself that, you actually feel into it, you feel an instant shift. You feel a power, because you're no longer allowing yourself to basically hold on to that past situation that once again had nothing to do with you, make you feel bad about yourself. And I will tell you, in the beginning, when you're doing these reframes, it might feel a little awkward because you're really in like the same cycle of like, oh my gosh, I don't feel good. I feel bad. I feel unworthy. I can't do it. I'm not loved. But over time, as you practice and you say the same thing over and over again, I'm worthy. I am meant to be successful. I have the most knowledge and the most power in the world. People want to serve me and they want to cater me. Your words are spells, and your mind will start to believe every single thing that you say. So do the reframe, because even if you feel like this much amount better, that is all you need to get yourself out of this negative cycle. Now, the fifth step, before I go into and show you the new cycle that you really want to adopt and adapt into, is choosing a heightened emotion to continue on your next block throughout the day. Now, odds are when you go through and ask yourself, what is the truth behind it? You do the reframe, you're already going to put yourself in a heightened emotion. But for some reason, if you're still feeling a little bit neutral, or you're just feeling I could feel a little bit better, you want to choose an emotion that you want to feel in the next portion of your day. So let's say, for an example, once again, you wake up in the morning, you feel bad, but you don't want to be feeling bad during breakfast, or you don't want to be feeling bad when you're going to work, or maybe this happened during lunchtime and you don't want to feel bad when you're going to the gym or hang out with your friends. You want to choose a heightened emotion that you can play into that will continue on and carry out throughout the rest of the day. Because the last thing I want you to do is to carry an emotion that triggered you once throughout the day and then just carry it until bedtime, and then you just end up having a really bad day. So some of the emotions that I have written down here is just feeling the emotion of happiness, feeling the emotion of joy. It can even be a hopeful emotion, feeling calm, feeling grateful, inspired, the feeling of love, maybe you're amused. And when you step into this emotion, you're basically going to forget what happened. You're going to forget what triggered you. You're going to forget that you are just that negative person. You're not going to be that person anymore. So choose a heightened emotion that you want to carry into the next portion of your day, and then of course throughout the entire day. Now the final thing I want to show you is the brand new cycle that you're automatically going to feel so abundant, so joyful, so happy that you're going to take on every single day. So this is the new cycle. You're going to wake up, you're going to feel happy, you're going to feel excited, and then when you are literally still in your bed, when you're brushing your teeth, you're immediately going to start to list out your gratitude. So because when you can bring gratitude and be grateful for what you have right now, you instantly put yourself in a good state. And the key to doing gratitudes that actually work is feel into what you're listing out. So don't just say I'm healthy. Be like, oh my gosh, I am actually so grateful that I can walk. I'm so grateful that I can actually move my body. I'm so grateful that I have like 20/20 vision and I can hear, I can speak. Really feel into your gratitudes. And then the second thing that you want to do, this is a big one, guys. Switch up your routine for excitement. If every day you do the same thing over and over and over again, switch it up a little bit, because our bodies and our minds, we get excited with things that are variety, right? So every single day, if you wake up in the morning, you check your phone, and then you eat breakfast and you start working, maybe in the morning before you check your phone, you go on a walk. You go on a brisk, even 5-minute walk. That is going to pump up your endorphins, and that is going to make you feel good. So switch up your routine, do something different. And then throughout the day, I want you to replace your bad habits and your bad distractions with positive habits. So once again, if you usually distract yourself by scrolling on social media, eating junk food, watching TV over and over again, replace that with a positive habit. This can be going on a walk, talking to a friend, reading a book. And once again, the bad habits, that doesn't mean you can't ever do them again. But once again, we brought awareness to the cycle that we do that to make us feel better when we're feeling bad about ourselves. So in the midst of us trying to break this cycle, we want to make sure that we are replacing it with a very positive habit. And something else that has really, really, really helped me get out of this anxious, stressed state is focusing on my breath throughout the day. So anytime I feel any ounce, honestly, of anxiety or stress of oh my gosh, I'm kind of starting to feel the same way again, breathe. Do breath work, calm down, get to the present. 99% of the time when we're experiencing negativity, doubt, fear, anxiety, lack anything, it is because we're in the past or we're in the future. And then every single night, I want you to end your day with a list of what went well and what you're super proud of. I honestly just love to do this in bed when I'm laying down right before I go to sleep, and I list out, I am so grateful that I was able to record a video today. I'm so grateful that I took myself to the gym. I'm so happy that I didn't talk bad about myself. I'm so proud that I actually broke through this cycle and I decided to stick with this new one. Just bring gratitude, list out everything that you did, everything that you're proud of. So that way, when you go to sleep, that is the energy that you are bringing into the next day. And when I tell you guys this works, it really, really does. Because coming from someone who has struggled with anxiety for so many years now and have experienced so much trauma and negativity, it's really easy to slip into this cycle of just thinking that this is just how our life is. But in reality, we can can break this cycle. And now since we know what the cycle is and we know it's a habit, we just want to replace it with this new cycle, and we want to break through with all the things that we talked about in today's video. So you know I am here for you. I love you guys so, so much. And if you haven't watched the video of how to do a complete rebrand on your life in 2025, make sure to watch it right here. I will see you guys next time. And until then, make sure that you stay unforgettable.